Am I on the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Okay, number one, I'm not on the Truman Show because they would never tell Truman he's on the Truman Show.
Or would they, just to mess with his mind?
Oh, good point.
Reverse psychology.
I should tweet that. Hello, adventurer. So today we get to cover one of my favorite social platforms, and that is chirp, 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 Twitter. So I love Twitter because what I use Twitter for is a lot of just my thoughts throughout the day. So I don't have to really think about it too much and really flesh it out or worry about how's this gonna sound on a blog. Just as I'm inspired, as I have a quote, I'm gonna tweet that out. And so I might tweet 5 to 7 times a day, but I spread them out through the entire day. I love Twitter, and I think you'll love it too. Some people say, oh, I don't like Twitter. And I would say, no, you don't like how you use Twitter. If you're patient and we go through the next couple of our days of our adventure together, I think you will love Twitter as much as I will. Now, some cool things about Twitter that you need to know is that, every second there is 6,000 tweets that go out. That's 500,000. And so every single year, there is 2 billion tweets. So that's a lot of tweets out there. And we're gonna show you how to navigate all of that to get through that. But Twitter is a great platform to add in addition to some of the other platforms. But remember, every platform needs to be treated differently and respectfully. One of the biggest limitations, which I actually take as an inspiration to Twitter, is 140 characters. Now, some people get stressed out about that. How do I say it in 140 characters? Well, I'll say that some of my favorite sayings that have ever happened through history, think of the moon landing. Are you team moon landing or team faked moon landing?
Team moon landing.
Okay. I'm kind of disappointed we're on the same side on that. 140 characters, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, under 140 characters. When you had the telephone and Alexander Graham Bell sent that message, the first message on the telephone, what was it? It was, Dr. Watson, come here, I want to see you. They didn't have FaceTime, or otherwise he wouldn't have had to see that. He could have just said, hi. That would have not worked. The first Morse code is actually from Numbers 23:23, which is what God hath wrought. What I would tell you is this, one of my favorite quotes of all time is from Mark Twain, who would, by the way, Mark Twain, he was alive, best Twitter account, agreed? Yeah, for sure. Mark Twain, he said this, that I would have written you a short letter, but I didn't have time, so I wrote you a long one. You see, to write a short, thoughtful letter takes a lot more time than to ramble on. Don't let your social media just be blah, blah, blah. It's like we have no filter, we have no thoughtfulness, we're just throwing it out there. Twitter, you have 140 characters, so it requires you to be more succinct and more thoughtful. And I can't wait to start tweeting with you, so let's jump right in. So here is the wonderful world of Twitter. One of the things I want to show you first is give you just a little bit of an orientation. Some of you might already know this, so be patient. You might always pick up something new. So this is my profile. It is important in that profile picture where I can view it or I can edit it. You need to make sure that you have a profile picture. I would not have that be a logo. If this is about your adventure, I would have this be of you on your adventure somewhere, or just a really great close-up shot of you. If it is for your organization, then you could put a logo or something like that. Then that cover photo, we'll talk about those later, that's where I might change that up occasionally for my adventure. Now, I have my unique name, which on Twitter, I'm at John Eric Thinks, and I'm at John Eric Thinks pretty much everywhere there's a social platform. I needed to create something unique. Now, on my name, this is where I have it as John Eric Mosler. I can change that up as much as I want. There's a bunch of people that could say that they are John Eric Mosler, but only one person can be at John Eric Thinks. I have my description that I help my friends make awesome things. I'm an idea accelerator, growth hacker, and adventure capitalist. My location is typically 30,000 feet, and I can also put a web address in there. Don't overthink this right now. What is important is that you change your profile picture and put a little bit of a description about you. Why this is important is because that will help people find you later. And if I ever get a friend request that has just the blank picture. That's where most accounts that are new that don't have a profile picture are spam. So it's really important that you do that right away when you set that up. Now I'm looking at my page, but you'll see the home button, whether here on my iPad mini or your app or you're using a third-party app, there will be a version that you see home. Now with home here, this is where I can give out, there's different things that I can do. There's always the ability to reply and retweet. I'm going to talk about those later because those aren't as important right now as for me to be able and favorite. So let's say here's my friend, I like this, I'm now favoriting them. So when you look at your home feed, the first thing that you want to do is that as you're going through it, you're going to say, oh, where am I going to favorite? So this is where I can do that as I'm catching up on different things. So notifications is a great idea to show you how people are interacting with you. Why notifications are important is for thoughtfulness. You don't want to have somebody say, hey, you did a good job on something and not say, well, thank you. The same thing here is when I'm in my notifications, you'll see that I have 3 new followers. And so this is where I'm going to, these are handshakes. I'm looking to see, is their profile a certain way? And so now they just said, hey, how are you? I want to meet you. And so I'm just having a handshake right back saying, yeah, I'd like to meet you as well. And so this allows me to see who has maybe followed me, who's favoriting a tweet, who is replying back. And then you'll see sometimes where this person was saying that, yeah, my friend, Mark Pentecost, we're doing an event later and they're saying, hey, I can't wait to go to Northern California, the event there. Well, earlier I went and I favorited that because that's just like giving them a high five. This allows me to interact where I can see the notifications. So this is how they're interacting with my post. And I want to make sure that we are always saying thank you and we're saying you're welcome. This shows me my profile and shows me how many followers and how many following I have. And we will show you less than 1% of people actually hit some of these buttons. And I can't wait to show you what those are because I know the home feed can be kind of overwhelming, but I'm going to show you more than just how to broadcast your tweets out. I'm going to actually show you how to listen and interact because there's some things that Twitter can do that no other platform can. And so it's really amazing when we teach you those things. But first of all, make sure that you have some of your basic things filled out. Go through your homepage. If you haven't set up your Twitter, now's a good time to do that. Go through that and make sure that what I want you to do is send out lots of high fives and hugs. And then we'll talk about how you will use Twitter to dominate the world. So I think you'll love Twitter as much as I do, but our first step is you need to reach out your hand and send me a follow request. I'll follow you right back because I cannot wait to follow and retweet and talk about your adventure because it begins right now.